for tuning in to the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. I have a bit of a confession to make, something that's been weighing heavily on my mind. You could say it's one of my demons. So, some years ago, I interviewed with the CIA. It's one of the things that has haunted me, and it keeps haunting me. When I watch these espionage type shows, after watching it, I think about that interview or that entire process. It took a year. That entire process, I keep thinking about it. And what I keep thinking about is I messed up. And I'm thinking that perhaps my family is the one that made me mess up, in that, you know, the movie Inception, you know, they planted an idea in the person's mind, and the whole premise of the movie is that they plant this idea and then the person then acts out that idea. Well, all through my life, my parents were always telling me, don't take risks, don't take risks, don't do that, don't do this. So I was all but hired with the CIA, and one of the things that I failed to do was the easiest thing that I could have done, and that was they told me to keep the meeting a secret. Not only did I not keep it secret, I told like 3 different people who I didn't need to tell at all. I don't know if I was afraid of what I might encounter or what, but I told people. I think I was trying to reach out to them to say that I was afraid of what might happen. That's number 1. And the interview when I got to Maryland was terrible, was just awful. It was nightmarish. It wasn't an interview like you think a job interview is. Everything that you can imagine about the CIA was verified by that interview, to the point where I was stuck in a room with a woman that I got the feeling that she had the aura of death about her, that she's killed people and that she was oozing an aura of death, if you can understand. Any of you who watch anime will probably understand what I'm talking about. And I'm very attuned to these sort of emanations that come from people. Let's move on. Let's go to the Air Force. I was a pilot candidate in the Air Force. I was the best candidate in my entire class. I made 100 on everything. I flew perfectly, and on my final check ride, I botched it. Let's move on to the TSA. I applied to the TSA. That took another year. And when it came down to literally, the guy on the phone said, "This phone call is just a preliminary. You are already hired." Right? You understand this? I'd gone through interviews, I'd done all the paperwork, they had checked my background and everything. And he literally said, "This is just a preliminary." And do you know what I said? I refused to do it. I'm not going to do it. And he said, "What? What are you talking about? This is just a preliminary. I'm not going to," and I said, "I'm not going to do it." Time and time again, I refused to go through with all of that. Law school, let's go down law school. I dropped out of law school. All I had was a couple of semesters and I would have been a lawyer, or I would be a lawyer today. And I dropped out of that. And when I dropped out, I felt overwhelming relief. An overwhelming stress was lifted off of my head, my body, everything. But when in the quiet moments of the night, I don't sleep. I get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a day. Some geniuses says that's all they need. But in the quiet, still hours of the night, these demons haunt me. So I guess this is why I'm making this video, just to share my demon, get this off of my chest. Now, some of you are going to say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have gone to those places anyway." Nobody, but I mean, that could have been a launching pad for my political career. I wanted to go into politics since I was a child. And when I say a child, I mean 7 years old. And I was quite serious. I had planned out my life all the way up through high school, and I executed it perfectly. I got straight A's. I was involved in every activity imaginable, whether it's intellectual, some sort of chess club or debate club, teams, any teams that I could join, everything. And I excelled at all of them, with my parents permitting. My parents didn't always want to take me to the various clubs, but I did do them, what I could get myself to. I was a star of plays and so forth, so I was a stellar student. my life was planned out pretty well. And that's probably why I was picked. When I went to the Air Force, I got a full ride. I was in the top 1% of all candidates in the United States. I got a full ride through college. I didn't have a dime to my name, and my parents did not support me in college. And I went and I got about 5 scholarships, including the Air Force scholarship. I got a full ride through the Air Force, through all of my college, until I, of course, failed the final check ride in pilot school. And there you have it. Maybe this will stop these demons from haunting me and stop me from thinking about me screwing up the CIA, the TSA, Homeland Security. Anyway, tell me what you think about all that. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show. I will be continuing my, I was supposed to be an analyst in the CIA. So I would be doing what I'm doing now on video, but I would be doing it for the federal government. I will be continuing the lead up to World War III series that I have been making. I know it seems kind of dry, but I want you to understand that World War I was started over the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. We are seeing something very similar go on, and the news just reports it as news. I'm telling you, this is what they are trying to do to lead up to World War III. I'm trying to make these videos so that you'll be aware and hopefully I can help stop it. I do have connections with the United States, or with the State Department. I do have some connections in local politics, local court systems. I still keep those contacts alive and well. I have contacts in business as well. So I haven't totally burned all my bridges. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.